Hi, I'm Trent Gustus of Keller Williams Realty. In this report, I'll talk about the condo townhome market in Calgary, average prices, days on market, and inventory supply.
To help make our stats a little bit more relevant to you, I'm going to divide up the city into different quadrants. We're going to do the inner city, the northwest section, the southwest, and what we're talking is west of Sarcee, because we would consider anything east of Sarcee to be inner city. The deep south, which would be Fish Creek, Chaparral, Mahogany, all of these south areas. And lastly, we'll do the northeast. At the end of the video, we'll go over the whole market so you can compare how your numbers match up with the overall. So in the inner city, we had 100 sold listings for townhomes, and those were selling for $339 a square foot, and the median where most buyers were buying is about $320. Now, the average sale price for those townhomes or villas was $424,000, and the median where most of the purchases were made was around $350. Now, when we look at how that compared to the month of May, just 77 sales, so sales were definitely up there, and the price per square foot was definitely lower. Looks like we had a high sale here, $1.4 million townhome sold. So, and we also had one in this month, very close. So it looks to me like with the number of units, there was an increase in the market average. So if we want to compare that how sales were last year, we can see that there was $307 a square foot was the median price, so not very far off the prices this year. That was last year, and just 70 townhomes sold in June of last 2013. Now, if we want to look at what the inventory supply is, we've got 100 sold listings last month and 142 active listings. And when we look at where they're priced at, we've got buyers looking to buy somewhere around $432,000, and for the most part, the buyers are looking at $362,000. But most of the sellers or what's available on the market is actually $517 to $533, and they're asking quite a bit more per square foot. You can see that they're asking $375 a square foot on average. And for the larger group, they're asking $375 as well. So, and they're also the bigger units of what's available, just 100 square feet bigger on average. And this one looks like the overall average is 200 square feet, but the median is about 100. So now we'll move on to the northwest section. Now we look at northwest townhome sales. Our high sale was about $680 last month, and the pricing was $274 a square foot, and people were buying for most people were buying around $321, and the average was $331. Now we compare that to sales for May, 107 sold in May, which was it's a little bit down, but not much. $271 was the price per square foot, and the average sale price was $329. But the median where most people bought in May was around $330, and they were buying them for less per square foot because they were getting a little bit on average. We've been getting a little bit bigger units. Now compare that to last year. 78 sold listings last year in June, and they were buying at most people were buying around $251, but the average was $259, and the sale price was $301. That's quite a big jump to go up on the average median. We're going up 30 and 20,000. So when we look at where we're at with inventory now, we've got 133 available listings. So actually it's pretty tight actually when you think about that there's not that many available for buyers. They would sell pretty fast. They're all selling about 24 days, so less than a month. And where they're buying at is $335, well, where they're listed at is $335 a square foot. And the buyers are looking for properties around $277 or somewhere between $285 and $335 is where the asking prices are. And so we've got people that are on the market. They're asking a lot more for what's left out there, and that's probably why it's there as a rule. So the market's moving up a little bit in this sector because they're asking more and they're getting it. Now we're going to move to the southwest section. We're talking west of Sarcee, Aspen, these areas, Signal Hill, and so forth. Okay, so now when we go to the southwest, west of Sarcee Trail there, we've got an average sale price a little bit higher out there at $459 and $344 is the price per square foot on average, and they're getting units that are 1331 square feet. Now, where most buyers are at is 428. That's the median group, the highest percentage group, and they're getting those in 20 days. Now we look at how that compares to last month. 41 sold listings in May. Very, very similar sales, but the price is much different. People paid a lot more for their condos in June than they did in May. 305 per square foot, and an average sale price of 452, and where the median group was 450. So very different numbers there. Now we compare that to last year. 30 sold listings in June of last year, so up 25%, and the prices were 293 a square foot on average, and where most buyers are buying at 366 at 283. Interestingly, they were getting on average, looks like with these numbers, they were actually getting bigger units for less money. So 45 sold listings, and the inventory is at 34. Not very many properties to buy, not very many townhomes left out there. But the property prices are 373 a square foot. So sellers are asking between 349 and 373, and the buyers are looking for properties. Well, the median group will still sell because people will look at properties priced at 349 on the average. But most buyers were looking around 328, which is a little bit higher. And so we don't have any of that available inventory. And most of the prices are a little bit higher, except for this median group. We're asking 459. So there's still some properties available in the Southwest there that are going to meet the buyers' expectations. And now we'll move to the Deep South. Evergreen, Silverado, Cranston, Mackenziestown, all these south areas. Now we look at what's happening in the Deep South. 101 sold listings for the month of June, and those sale prices were, for the most part, they were around 320 and or 319, and the higher average was 323. Now when we look at how that compared to last month, 98 sold listings last month. So that's for the month of May. So that's pretty much on par. The average price per square foot in May was a little bit higher. Looks like there was a little bit better sales then. And we had 327 was our sale price. So it looks like May was a little bit higher as far as the average sale prices and the median prices. So when we look at what happened last year, 69 sales. So quite a bit more for the month of June of 2014, and the price per square foot was $246 a square foot on average, but 239 was where most buyers were buying. This year it looks like we got 27 days average days on market. Last year was 37, so people are buying a little faster, and all of these units are about the same size. Now when we look at the inventory supply, just 87 active listings, so there's a limited supply of the townhome condos available. Now buyers were looking at properties priced between 319 and 326 on the average, and the median price certainly fits into that category of 324 as far as asking prices. With some units available, they're also smaller than what just sold, and they're priced $277 a square foot, so slightly higher than where the buyers were really looking to pay. And even when we look at what the list price per square foot was for the month of June, the prices have actually they've actually put the prices up a little bit from where that is at, and these units of course are a little bit smaller, not much. But the buyers were typically looking for properties priced between 319 and 326. The median group that's left on the market will still fit that mold, but list prices on the average are 340 and 286, and there's going to be some properties in there that are going to be just about a higher price for the buyers and may not sell. And next we'll look at the northeast section of the city. Now we look at the northeast, 48 sold listings for the month of June, and they were priced at the asking prices those were around 244,000 on average, but most of them were 236, and they sold for around 231, fairly close to their asking price. And the larger group sold for 220. Now the median price, what that means is it really means that that's where most of the buyers were. The heavy weighted group was $220 a square foot, and the average was 231. We had one condo which was sold for 332, which was the high sale for the month, and it sold for 342 a square foot. It was 1453 square feet. Now, when we look at last month, we had 49 sales, so one more sale. So the month was very similar, but the averages were up, which means that the average price per square foot was also up. So that's interesting that June dropped a little bit as far as our pricing is concerned. So when we compare that to last year, 35 sold listings last year, and they were buying at around, the larger of the group was buying $205 a square foot. So up $15 a square foot for the Northeast compared to last year. Most buyers were buying these condo townhomes between, they were listed at $199 and selling for $194. So that's a significant increase for up there. 48. We look at the inventory. There's almost 2 months supply there, and they're priced at 233 to 243. The buyers are looking at about the same prices. Looks to me like this is a pretty evenly matched group, except for the fact that the price per square foot they're asking a little bit more. So they're asking 248 on the average and 232 for the median or the larger group. Now, when we look at how that panned out for the list pricing, what buyers were actually looking at, that's kind of somewhere in between that median group. So looks like there's going to be some properties that are going to keep moving down in there as well. There's still available properties for buyers that are competitive. Now, when we look at this from an overall city point of view, you can see that where we have got heavily weighted inventory. Now, of course, 3 sales in for all of Calgary for a condo and below 150 and 6 available. That's always going to be a low market, and it's low to get a stat from. But you can see here that really, when I look at a balanced market, I think of 2/3 more active listings than sold last month, and the dark bar represents what sold last month, and this is what the light is currently what's available. So it's pretty good market for condos overall, especially in the 300 to 350 group. That seems to be our tightest group here. And as we go up, even though these bars are quite a bit lower, the ratios are quite out of whack. Like we've got 2 times more available between 500 and 550, and we've got 2 times more available between 600 and 650. And then we get to the higher end group of things like over a million, 1.5 million. We had 6 sales in the month of June, which is actually pretty good for high-end condos, and just 23 active listings. So there's a lot more available than currently are selling each month. And of course, we got onesies and twosies above the 750 mark. We really don't have a lot. 18 available from 750, 800, and only 1 sold last month. So it's pretty slim.
Realize that the market news I've just given you is based on the whole market. There's a whole other study we can do on the area that you're looking to buy or sell in. Your area may not move according to the whole market, and realize that average sale prices don't mean that a specific home would go up that percentage based on the whole market. Average sale prices sometimes mean that people are buying more expensive homes. Back when I started selling real estate, over 90% of the homes I sold were expired listings or homes that other agents couldn't sell. During that time, I learned from my clients the many frustrations that they had selling their homes.
Yeah, we had the home about, twice with some other agencies, and they couldn't sell the house. We don't know why. It's a beautiful house.
There was not any interest shown at all in our home by anybody that came and viewed it.
Too many of the other MLS realtors who'd come and show the house, they wouldn't have a clue.
We didn't get any feedback on our showing.
Last time our house was in the market about 3 months, and we've never got any offers.
It's for these reasons I have a very detailed approach on the way I sell my clients' homes. But here's what my clients had to say.
So we tried to put our townhouse up for sale October of last year, and it just wasn't selling, you could say. We had some show homes in the beginning of October, and a lot of people came, but no one really made a really decent offer, and we weren't getting any feedback. After the last 2 months, November and December, we had no showings, no one was coming, and we weren't really hearing from our real estate agent anymore. So come January, a friend of the family told us about Trent and how that he had helped them sell their house and
Don't forget how we got that in the mail.
and how we got in the mail a pamphlet that said, you know, guaranteed we can sell your home. In which case we both decided we'd call Trent and
Give Trent a call. And Trent came in the very first day that he came to see us, and he said, well, let's look at the market. Let's see where we're sitting at in the market, and let's make a plan of how we're going to put this up so that it's more appealing than everything else in the market in that kind of zone that people are looking for houses, in that price range, in that category, being a townhouse. And basically what ended up happening was, as soon as the house went up, exactly what we had predicted with Trent was going to happen happened. And in a very, very short period of time,
it was like one day.
I think it was one day.
Yeah.
We had an offer the first day and took it. Trent gave us extremely knowledgeable advice on how to deal with the initial lower offer, and it resulted in us maintaining a lot more of our value in our house.
One of the things that I noticed was really nice about how our house sold was that there was a video that was taken for YouTube, and when we went to go see it, we fell in love with our home again, not to lie. It just, it put our home in a light where you wanted to live in it. It talked about, you know, the great things that we loved about our home when we first walked in. Just 2 blocks down, there's another house for sale that didn't have that quality of videoing, and it didn't show the aspects of the home which we fell in love with, which we found that other people did. And watching the video, you realize that we boosted so much more of our traffic coming into the house. People who were looking at it, they already were interested before they even showed up. And right away, just from the first day, we had, you know, 3 or 4 people walk through that all wanted to make offers. And assuming if we wanted to stay on the market longer, we could have easily sold the house 5-6 times over.
Well, I think what the commercial does versus just having an MLS listing with pictures and then someone has to call and then come and see it is it takes the same thing that companies do, but he does it for you on an individual basis. Companies, when they want to sell something, you see it on the commercial while you're watching the NHL playoffs or something, and you go, this is awesome, I want it. And that's exactly what his commercial does. You see it and boom, you want it.
We had our home listed for 4 months in the fall, and it just didn't sell. We had a little interest at first, but then it just died down. After the new year, we got some information in the mail from Trent, and he was able to show us the advantages of video marketing, and he showed off our home to its best advantage. You know, it's not a show home, it's not a new home, but it's a comfortable home. And he was able to show that and get that information out to lots of people. And we had so many showings. We had, you know, 1 or 2 showings a day. Some days we had so many showings we weren't even able to come home for meals. There was that much interest in our home. Another thing Trent was able to show us was that the market was actually good in November when we had our home listed before, and that was when there was no interest shown in ours. And there were homes selling in this neighborhood for actually less than what we got for ours just this past week. We sold it in about 4 weeks with Trent, and we're really excited to be, we got a price that we're happy with, and moving on.
This is just 2 examples, but in 13 years of marketing homes, I've got hundreds of examples of turnaround situations. High and low-end homes, fixer-uppers, show homes. I've marketed a home just like yours. So call me today for a low-pressure interview to discuss the sale of your home.